What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to the first time you realized America really messed you up. Now, I had one of these moments yesterday, guys, because I am about to be volunteering at a hospital, and for my volunteer orientation, which was yesterday, we had to watch a 5-minute active shooter video about what would happen if an active shooter came into the hospital, which does happen quite often in the United States. When someone wants to kill somebody, they know where they are in the hospital. Somebody's already hurt and now there's a shooter coming after them. And sometimes they try and kill nurses and clinicians and doctors who try and stop them and things. But when we're watching this drill, I'm like, why is this normal? Even when you're in public school in the United States, we actually had drills where we had to act out what would happen if a shooter came in, and we all had to crunch and like hide behind desks and stuff. Like, this is just a normal thing that everyone is used to and, programmed to deal with, which is just so unfortunate. And there's a lot of things about this country that I just cannot get behind, guys. So coming to Europe soon, but in the meantime, let's react to this first time you realize America really messed you up. Here we go.
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
So I'm an American and I live in Norway right now. And one time I was going to help my friend with this project that she had, and this girl was still in high school. And so she was like, yeah, just come to my high school. You can help me out, yada, yada, yada. I was like, great. Where do I have to sign in when I get there? Do I need to wear a visitor's badge? Who do I talk to? What should I tell the front desk lady? She was like, what are you talking about? Just walk in and I'll meet you at my classroom. And my mind was blown. I was like, I can just walk into your school? Like, no, aren't they going to call the police? Aren't they going to send out an intruder alert? Like, I can't just walk into your high school and just walk straight to your classroom. No. Then I realized just how messed up it is that American high schoolers are like security prisons.
They are, and actually a lot of American high schools have police officers who have weapons on them who are stationed at the high school because there are just threats, and shooting is always a threat. But yeah, you have to have proper authorization to enter a high school in the United States.
Studying abroad in the UK, we were at a public train station and you had to pay to use the bathroom, and I had never seen that before. And I was like, oh my God, that's like messed up, right? They were like, yeah, but we don't pay for healthcare or college. Stop yelling.
So when I was a teenager,
bathroom is a very small contribution.
Sure, I went out of the country one time to go on vacation to the Bahamas, and we were staying at this resort, and shit happened. I caught a virus that was going around the resort, and then I had an allergic reaction to the virus, and I couldn't really breathe. But the on-site paramedic had already left for the day, so the hotel concierge took us to the hospital in his van and just told us to call when we were ready to head back. So we go to the hospital, I get treated, and as we're leaving, my mom tries to give them her insurance card, and she's telling them, like, I'm so sorry, we've never been out of the country before, I don't know how to do this. They told her, like, oh no, you just keep that, we don't take insurance here. And the look on my mom's face was terrified, like, oh my God, we're gonna have to sell our house, terrified. This was when they realized we were Americans, and they were like, oh no, don't panic, you must be American, we have universal health care here, you just need to pick up your medicine in the lobby, you're fine. The medicine was $8, and they gave me a note to give to the airline to get back into my own country.
What?
Okay, I love this question. I actually don't live abroad right now, but I spent basically most of my 20s living abroad, and for 6 of those years I was living in the UK, and in my first professional job, you could say there, this one time I got really sick and I was feeling really unwell, and I was like, I had 5 weeks of leave, and I really had assumed that must have been like my sick and my vacation time in one, because 5 weeks is so much time relative to American standards. And I was really sick, and I was like, and then I was like, but honestly, I don't want to use up my sick time. And my boss was like, what are you talking about? If you're sick, you're just sick. And I was like, but I only have I don't want to use my time. And she was like, no, you're just sick. And I was like, wait, holy shit, really?
Yeah, honestly, guys, if you're employed in the United States and you get sick, it's a bunch of hoops that you have to jump through. A lot of times people will just go to work sick because they don't want to use their time off. And also the concept of being sick on vacation and then being able to get those days back is just so crazy. Like, if you're sick on vacation in the United States, your employer doesn't want to hear all that. Like, you took your vacation days. That's that. But you guys can get those days back? Like, that, I mean, it's a great concept. It's just, I don't know what to say, guys. It sucks. Sucks over here getting sick, especially in school, in work, no matter what the situation is. We're not really catering to anyone who gets, if you get sick, you're just worried you're going to fall behind. So
I went to uni in the UK and I still live there, so I've got a ton of these. Probably the first that comes to mind is when first year I realized I was picking my seats in lectures about where I could be protecting in case someone came in and started shooting. And I brought it up with my group of friends, which had Americans, non-Americans, and all my American friends were like, oh yeah, I'm also terrified of someone coming in and taking us out in a mass shooting. And of course, all of the non-Americans were like, what the like, never been worried about that. And yeah, they shouldn't be.
yeah, it's nice not to be. It's very
Did y'all
nice.
know that in other countries, they can go to the pharmacy and actually get what they need? I live in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia right now, and I went to the pharmacist and I was like, hi, I think I kind of have like a UTI. Like, do you have any pain medicine, any cranberry? And she's like, why don't I just give you antibiotic? And I was like, then I go back and I'm like, hi, I'm going to South Africa next week, like on safari, like any good, mosquito repellent? And she's like, girl, you want anti-malarials? And then I get bold with it, right? I go in there, on another occasion and I'm like, I'm back, I'm waiting for my birth control, like, to come from the US. Like, it's taken a while, prescriptions and doctors and all that. And she literally threw the birth control at me. Amazing.
So I have a
Oh, wow. Yeah. All the things she's describing, antibiotics, birth control, et cetera, et cetera. Anything prescription, got to get it prescribed. That's what the whole word prescription just entails in the United States. You got to see a doctor and then they got to send it there and then you got to wait and then you got to get it. It's just a complete pain in the ass, to be honest. So this is Africa as well. Like, we're not even just talking about Europe here. Healthcare situation is just blowing me away outside of the US. That is great for her.
Amazing.
Damn.
So I have a really embarrassing one. It was my first time getting pulled over by a German police officer. When the cop walked to my vehicle, I was like, why'd you pull me over? Geez, I can't get a break anywhere I go. Is it because I'm black? Then the police officer looked at me very calmly and was like, bro, in Germany, we do random traffic stops. Not only that, he also educated me on everything you need in a vehicle for a random traffic stop. After that, he didn't even do the random traffic stop. He just walked away and said, have a nice day. Very respectful. After he left, I just sat there dumbfounded and I was like, wow, in America, I'm so used to getting pulled over for being black for no reason. And it really changed my whole attitude towards police officers out here in Germany. Yeah, so super ignorant moment for me that I definitely learned from.
I think I've talked about this before. I've had some encounters with German police and Dutch police. They look so intimidating. You see these guys like 6'5", like 200 plus pounds. They all got tattoos. It's like, yo, don't want to mess with these guys. But when you actually talk and interact with them, they're literally just doing their job. They work everything out logically. They're not, for the most part, listen, everyone's human and flawed, no matter what police force you're looking at. But they're not responding emotionally. Like, there's a lot of bad apples in the police force in the US and a lot of racism that does not help the police situation over here. So, yeah, the German police, they're doing their job. I like what I see from them.
And that's your repeat medication all sorted? Oh, great. Now you're nearly 25, so you should probably come back in soon to get a cervical screening test. Oh, sure. And here's some info about IUDs since you were asking about those. Okay, and what's like a ballpark for how much all of this costs? Like 500, 1,000 pounds? It's free.
That's,
oh.
Yeah.
Well, besides wanting to get under a desk every time I hear like a bang noise,
Electric kettle?
I had no idea what that was before I moved to Australia.
Oh, yeah. I'm an American living in Canada. here since 2007. When I went to school, my schools had security guards. They don't have that in my son's school. My son does not have a security guard. Like, they used to break up fights. We used to have police called. And I mean, God, they don't have that here. And it's very reassuring that the difference of violence in schools here is uncomparable to the United States. And I wish it was better. I wish it was different for everyone back home.
I thought she was going to end that like 4 times, I'm going to be honest. Are there no security guards at schools? I know that was Canada. How about Europe? European countries, no security guards? I had security guards throughout elementary school, middle school, high school. Maybe not elementary school, but there were a lot of fights in middle school and high school that they had to break up. And of course, police officer on site as well. So are there not fights at schools in Europe? I know that's an extremely broad question, but just let me know your experience in the comments.
So I spent about 4 years in Berlin, Germany, working in advertising. And coming from New York, where my first 8 years in the industry, I just, you don't take vacation. You just don't really do that. Well, I had to have a sit down with the CEO of my company and the head of HR, where they took my laptop and took my work phone and told me I could not come back to the office for 3 weeks because I had to use my vacation time. They were afraid that I was going to sue the company for not being allowed to take my vacation time. So they made sure that I literally could not work. Imagine that happening in the US. Someone literally taking your computer and your work phone away and say, go, come back in 3 weeks, enjoy your vacation. Honestly, Europe has a lot going for it that I wish Americans would understand.
Facts.
So I've been living in Italy for about 11 years now, 12 years. And I moved here to be with my husband. And in the US, I got my tubes tied after my third child and decided I didn't want any more, but he didn't have any, so we decided to do IVF, and I got pregnant with twins. At 13 weeks, I lost one. And once I lost that child, they considered me a high-risk pregnancy and took me off work from that moment on until 3 months after she was born, and I was paid 100% of my check. 100% of my check. And then until she was 1, I got to come home 2 hours a day to breastfeed her. 100% paid.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, kids, this one's for me.
That's another maternity leave. Having a child while working full-time in the United States. There's no way that they would say high-risk pregnancy and pay your full salary. I think in the United States, the policy is you're able to leave and keep your job, but I don't think they pay your full salary. I got to look into that again, but it's the work. When it comes down to it, guys, we're not treating our employees well enough. For the vast majority of people working in the US, they're working too much, not getting enough breaks. And nobody can be genuinely productive for the hours that they're expected. It's not human, So there've been studies that show you get more output when people are more rested and living a balanced lifestyle. So if the US was really focused on productivity and getting money, they would let people rest a little more. They're going to come back stronger.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, kids, this one's for me. This one is for me. I'm literally about to go to sleep right now, but I saw this and I have to respond right now, so much so that this might become a series. So, part 1. I lived in Galway, Ireland for a year, all of 2020. Yes, all of 2020. I come from the backwoods of Wisconsin, where shooting squirrels off of your trees is a fun afternoon activity.
Okay.
Fireworks rarely happen in Ireland. It was Halloween night. I heard pops in the sky. My first reaction was, who's shooting? Obviously no one was shooting a gun. My neighbors were celebrating Samhain, the Irish tradition of Halloween. Come back for part 2. I have so much more to tell you.
Why is she talking like she doesn't want to speak? Like, why? What was the point in that video, honestly? Like, Just, no one's forcing you to record that.
So I started my new job in the Netherlands. This was 3 years ago, and I was going through the company policy the first week. And I got to the section about leave, and they have a holiday leave, like PTO, and then they had sick leave in 2 different areas. And I was reading about sick leave, and I turned to my coworker, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, it talks about like the requirements for sick leave and like doctor notes like after 3 days, but how many sick days do we get a year? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, how many are they? It doesn't say. She's like, it's just if you're sick, you're out. I'm like, I don't understand. She's like, it's unlimited. It's just if you're sick, you take a sick day. She was confused. I was shocked. There's a moment I realized in America and how we deal with people being sick with work.
Yeah, it's just like it's logical. If you're sick, shouldn't go to work. For some reason, it's like such a huge deal here. I guess one of the questions I do have pertaining to that is, since there are technically unlimited sick days, which I guess you guys aren't even thinking of taking advantage of the situation or system, but do people take advantage of that? Do they fake sicknesses or act like they're sick to get out of work? But I mean, you probably don't have to, because you guys get like a month of vacation in a lot of Europe, and like if you're sick, you're like, you don't feel like you need to avoid work to the level that some Americans probably do. I don't know. Anyways, guys, it was a good video. A lot of Americans will never have their eyes opened like these people who have had experiences elsewhere in the world. So that's a big shame, but it is what it is. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.